Hi guys, and welcome to another video from Stupid as the Norm, the channel where we demonstrate how to become a millionaire in 10 years on minimum wage. And in this episode I want to tell you a little bit about a change in strategy brought about by recent rises in interest rates. Now if you're watching sometime in the future, this is the 8th of October 1922, and we've had some, I wouldn't say staggering rises in interest rate, but unusual rises in interest rates. They still remain historically low. But to give you an example, what I mean is, I've just remortgaged a property, and it used to cost me £87 a month to service a loan, and I've remortgaged at the new lowest rate of 5.4%, and it's now gone to £208, which means I have to change the plan. And I was given a kind of idea for this because of a comment on last video I did about goal setting, and someone made the comment that you couldn't set a goal because things kept changing. Everything was moving around all the time, and circumstances changed. And I said, no. I said, you can still have the goal, but you have to adapt the plan to a changing environment, be they physical or financial. And it's a bit like having a shave, actually. See, when I was young, I could have a shave inside a minute. All I had to do was just wiggle the razor up and down the face and it was gone. Things change now because my face has changed. And I've got all these lines, so no longer can I just put the razor up and down. I have to tease out the lines so that I can get inside all those crevices. So the goal remains the same, which is to get all the stubble off my face, but you have to change the plan because of the change in circumstances. Now, of course, the rise in interest rates means I'm losing £150 a month income on that property. I'm due to refinance another one because they're coming out of their 2-year fixed period, another one in December that is, and the same will happen there. Which means that because I'm losing money, I have to change the plan if I'm to stay on target and meet my goal. One of the things I'm also doing with the second property I bought, which comes out with a refinance in December, is to draw some money out there. I got it at a £10,000 discount, and of course there's been some rise in the values of property since, so hopefully, depending on the lender's value and what he's instructed the valuer to do, I would have put out an extra 10 to 15,000 from there. And that's important because I can no longer rely on having £20,000 to buy a property, because my strategies changed from having purely buy-to-let properties to serviced accommodation. Now, if you don't know what serviced accommodation is, if you think about Airbnb, that's what serviced accommodation is. So there are pluses and negatives to having serviced accommodation. The pluses are, and let's always think about the positive, is you get 3 times the money, because no longer am I charging £550 a month, I'm charging £100 a night. On the bad side, the negative side of that is I need more money to get into it. I no longer need £20,000. I think I'm going to need £40,000. And that's because I require a different type of property, and I also have to refurbish it and furnish it. So different type of property, you've got to buy the right property in the right place. So sort of mid-terrace properties in the less affluent areas aren't the best, because there's lots of competition for serviced accommodation, be they Airbnb or for contractors who are staying there for 2 or 3 months at a time. So you've got to have a nice house, which means typically a newish house, new build-ish house. Maybe it's a townhouse or something that's just recently been built and looks smart and clean. As a serviced accommodation, you've got to make it like a hotel, so you've also got to put in things like bedding, linen, knives, forks, cutlery, any cooking stuff. Guys want to cook there as well instead of eating out, so you've got to provide all that. Now I think that's going to cost, or I've been told to expect to cost, about another £10,000. So if I've gone from 20 to 30, but then I need a better house as well, maybe it's a bigger house rather than the 2-bedroom stuff I've been buying, so that's going to cost me another 10. So I'm looking at extra £40,000, or an extra 20,000 on the normal 20,000 I was expecting. So that's going to take me more time. I think I'm not going to buy this property till maybe May next year. So I'll have gone 18 months, without buying a property, which sounds like the project is stalling, but it's not, because the income I can expect to get from my serviced accommodation is about £1,300 a month, and I'm getting, and that's net of all costs and management fees. And I also, so I've gone from £1,300 a month to up from £550 a month, or if you take the mortgage and the management fees, which will probably bring it down to about 230. So with the changes in interest rates, I've gone from 230 and hopefully bring it back up to 1,300 with a serviced accommodation. Any guarantees? No, there's never any guarantees, is it? Who can possibly guarantee any return in any model or any investment vehicle? But what I've done is I've recognized there's a change in the financial environment, and so the goal stays the same, but you have to change the plan to adapt to the goal. So what I'd like you to do, if you haven't already done so, is to formulate your goal and then make a plan, but be prepared to change the plan as circumstances change. And if you do that, you'll put yourself, as I've said before, in the top 10% of the country, because nobody will have a plan, and even fewer people, or nobody have a goal, even fewer people have a plan to go with it. Gorgeous. Don't be stupid, don't be normal, guys.